You ready?
Yeah, we're live now.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the City of Arts Virtual Music Symposium. This symposium is brought to you by LEAP, Linking Everyday Extraordinary People. In the Key of G, Everett's Natural Beauty School and Salon. Hug Detroit Day. Aduni's Event Planning Bootcamp Academy. And in Bayou, it's not business as usual. Today's topics are promotions, EPKs, PR, managers, and distribution. Our professional business panelists for this afternoon are Sheila Brody, also known as Amuka, T.C. Thompkins, Beth Griffith, and your moderator for this afternoon is Billy Wilson. How the music business works. Well, hi, I'm Sheila Hale, and we just welcome you to this afternoon. We have a few panelists still coming in, so we just want to talk about, hi, Beth. Hi, dear, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for joining us at such a late moment. I know you've been really busy.
Yeah, it's okay. I love being busy.
Yeah.
Busy is good. Thank you.
That's right. That's right. We have Pam on, and Tylene is running. Pam and Tylene are running the backstage there, and Giselle as well. We're going to go ahead and get started on some things as our other guests come in. Just kind of recap on the week. It's been like off the chain. I felt like I was the voice. The running of putting all this together has been awesome. So we started off on Sunday with the vocalist and the speakers that morning, well, early afternoon, this morning for entertainers. 1 o'clock is when most of us wake up. But it's been like just so much information coming forth. In the morning, we had, what's her name? Tasha Owens, she was our moderator. Shelly Kay was on there. Sandy, Patty was, am I saying the right last name, Pam? Anyway, and we had, we just had such a good time and so much information. Liz Laren was on there. And I'm just finding out that so many people, I mean, these musicians and singers, and there's the other part of their life, you know, it's not just the vocal, but the business side. And that's what we want to share and talk about in this session and all the morning sessions and even the evening sessions when we had the vocalists came in on that Sunday evening and shared about their life and how the business runs and some of the struggles that they have had, some of the joys that they have, and why we keep doing it and doing it and doing it, right, Leslie, no matter what's happening. We have to still have that business, do other things until the money comes through like we want to, or the success comes through. We're still being the other parts of our life. Like I am a natural hair master in running a school and as well as a salon. And we are a family owned and operated business, been in business for 43 years. And so, but my passion in and of itself is event planning. So I love putting things like this together. And now at the age of 68, I am retiring from the braiding and natural hair business of doing hair and stepping all the way into event planning. So I am like I'm ecstatic. And this event right here really just proves that my gift is needed and my gift is wanted. And so we can talk about that a little bit, but let me see, Tuesday, so that was Monday, that was Sunday, and then Monday was keyboard players, and that was crazy. My husband, Philip Hale, ran that as the moderator earlier in the day. We talked about the healing power of sound and of music, and the panelists were extraordinary. We had Sawande, who's our cultural drummer, and he talked about his father and how it was passed down that when he was a baby, they strapped the drum on his body, so it was part of him. And yeah, we talked about Butter Hawkins, who is a drummer, a dynamic drummer, but that in the daytime, he was sharing with us about the exercises that we can do and with the drums, and he was demonstrating that. And we had At Peace, Makita Taylor, who was our moderator, and she talked about her thing is meditation and how important it is, and that there's not just one way to meditate. You don't have to be all deep and all that kind of stuff. You can just actually, any moment, you can take a moment and meditate and quiet yourself and center yourself to do the work. And we talked with Liz Laren, who shared with us about, oh my gosh, she is doing so much with sound and traveling all over the world, putting things together. And she mentioned about the architect and sound architect and in your buildings, and what that meant versus just, what kind of music you're playing in there, but how does the sound, is it a good, what is that called? When you're trying to check out how the acoustics in the room and stuff. It was awesome. And then, Philip came and that evening and talked about with the keyboard players. They was just sharing their heart. Every time I hear I see Philip talking with the keyboard players, it is just awesome. You can't get them to stop. And that's what I admire about the whole music industry, that when they come together to talk about the music, it doesn't even matter about that, whether I like you or not. That thing is what's in common and how we're going to really share. I am so happy to have Beth Griffith come on and join us. She participated with The Voice. And I love The Voice. I love what they represent as far as really working and developing artists. And so I would like for Beth to come back on. That's a beautiful picture, girl. And just share some of the things in your life that has happened in your life to put you, to get you where you were in The Voice. I know your voice in the show, The Voice. It is about the voice because they have to select you based on what they hear and not what they see, because obviously you're beautiful. Say, well, they would have just chose you just on that. But what brought you to that point where you decided to go and audition for the voice and maybe what that process was. But you had to have done a lot of stuff before that. I understand your dad is with the Funk Brothers, and so tell us something kind of about you that brought you to us getting to know you on that stage. You with us, Beth? You're frozen. But while she unfreezes herself, we also had last night, we were with the bass player.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, now you're kind of fading in and out in your voice, and you're still frozen picture-wise. So as you pull that together, yeah, I'll just keep talking about the bass players last night. It was amazing. I mean, simply amazing. We had Marion Hayden, and very well known in this city.
Ralph Armstrong.
Yeah, we have Ralph Armstrong. I'm trying to pull it off so I won't say the wrong people.
Ibrahim.
Chuck
Ibrahim.
Bartels. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and we had
fine.
Jaribu.
And then you're frozen on my end, so I don't know.
Tell her to go out and come back in, sign out and come back in.
Yeah, Beth, sign out and come back in, babe. So yeah, we had, it was, I'm just so pleased with how everything is turning out. And
we had Ibrahim, Chuck Bartels, Ralph, Marion, and Jerubu.
And Carrie
Lacey.
Yeah, who was a great moderator, just great. And so like I said, I just love when I hear musicians come together. There's a whole different language, and you'll see also how serious some really get into it. They know the history of it. Like my husband, he can bring up people that I never even knew. He could see an album and tell you everybody that's on that album. And some people, they select their music based on who is on there. Just like movies, if Denzel is in there, I'm going to trust it, And,
right.
Yeah. And so some of that, I mean, when I see them talk about it, you almost have to tear them apart because they get so very much into it. So Giselle, what did you get out of so far?
I was so impressed last night with the bass players, especially when they could mention someone and give a date and a location they were when they played. Ralph was giving us the history of so many of the musicians and the bass, that he has a bass that is worth more than $20,000 that he got out of a Catholic church. They gave it to him and he had it refurbished, and they didn't recognize what they had. And I was just so impressed with that, at the history and that the camaraderie, that for the musicians and entertainers that we have had this week, it would not have mattered if we had an audience. Those musicians needed to get together and talk. They needed that togetherness is what they needed.
Yeah, and that's what I realized, that when the bass players or the keyboard players, when they're there, unless it's something that's an event and they have a lot of different bands, and they're the only bass player there, you know what I mean? So that all of them coming together, that was amazing. And the respect that they had for one another and what they have accomplished or what they're doing now, and some of the new techniques are coming out. Like when the brother said, the young man, what is it called? How do you rehearse? How do you keep up on your skills? And how do you practice? what techniques do you use when you practice and things like that. That was just so key. And then the elder ones, they just jump right in there and take care of them. And I just, what Gerard was saying when he was talking about, really respecting those who challenged him and those who corrected him. Being a young whippersnapper, but what those things mean. And then what I think also, Giselle, is that it gave you that are the elders, you don't know who you impact as you go along. And you may say something like what Gerard was saying, you may say something and you don't even remember it, but what an impact it had on his life to develop him into the mature musician that he is today. So that was
surprising to me that he brought up something I said to him more than 30 years ago, because I met Gerard when he was 18. And I think he said he's 50 now or about to be 50. I forget how old
I think he said he's 53.
Yeah, and I met him right when he got out of school, and rehearsal used to be at my house. So because I was married to a bass player, so they were always at my house. They became my children, and I was there with them, watch their growth, watch how they've changed, and one thing I can say about Beth Griffith is Mom Orthea loved her and always wanted to do stuff with her. And then she went and Orthea said, now it's your turn to work. So, yep, I accept that.
Wow. Wow. Beth, are you in yet? I see your picture.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. That's how it's sounding. Yeah, so I don't know are you on a phone or a laptop? Unmute yourself, babe.
Billy is still having a problem getting in. So Leslie, why don't you unmute yourself and we can talk while we try to work out the logistics here. Okay, try the text, Billy, that I sent you. Okay, yeah, Leslie unmuted herself. Leslie, you've been a vocalist a long time. So what is it this time been like for you with the COVID?
It's been rough during COVID. It's been rough for everyone. No, even, the mega stars, the Janet Jacksons and the Celine Dion's, they weren't working either. I like to put myself up there with those. That's the competition that I look forward to having. So,
you and Sheila up there with the big dogs, y'all up there.
We're not in their bracket, their dollar bracket. So
yeah, we say we don't go to the same banks.
Right.
Hello, everybody.
All right, Billy.
Got in. Yes.
We're still
trying to get in.
Yeah, very good. Welcome. We're still trying to get Beth her camera and sound working, but we've just been sharing what has happened so far this week, which has been awesome. And I don't know if he was able to jump in on any of them. You know what I do? I'm sitting here and I'm looking at how many people are who is in Zoom, forgetting about that people are watching us on YouTube and people are watching us on Facebook and maybe other mediums that I don't know about. But because somebody has said something to me, yeah, that was really nice. And what was said and so on. I'm like, where did you hear? I didn't see you on there. And then I was like, oh yeah, right. People are watching it on Facebook and YouTube. And it has been So much good information.
Mm-hmm.
So Billy, yeah, talk about yourself. Tell everybody who you are, and as we're still working on Beth.
You know, when I went to, when I was younger, I went to New York to do an audition. And at the audition, there were about 250 bass players. And I was the last person in.
Billy, can you turn your camera on?
Oddly enough, I'm using my cell phone and I can't do it right now.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get to my computer here in a moment and
Okay.
It's Beth.
connect up from there. But what happened was during the end of the night, they said everybody go home and come back tomorrow. Well, I was only there for 1 day. So I said, I can't do that. I have to audition now. And if I don't make it, I'm going home. They said, well, you come from Detroit just to come out here? I said, that's right. So it's okay, you're the last person. So what they did, they sat me down before I even got a chance to play for them. They said, brag about yourself. I kept thinking, what? Well, why don't you just wait till after I show you what I can do? They said, no, we want you to brag about you. And I started to lay out all the stuff that I do, sing, play, blase, blase, blase. They said, you're the guy we've been looking for 2 years. I said, but you've never heard me play. They said, we don't have to hear you play. We're just listening to you talk. Because entertainers have a particular vernacular about how they speak, what they say, and how they do certain things. Professionals are like that. You know, one professional know another professional. And that's what I base everything off of nowadays. Brag about yourself. And I always want to listen to what people have to say about themselves. Now, basically, in talking about what I do, I'm the president of the Motown Alumni Association. I've been around for 26 years. I got 35, maybe 40 branches now around the world. I have I've done many things throughout the years. The Detroit Black Music Awards, I'm the co-founder of that. I gave a $10 million grant to Stillman College to develop their Motown music program. A couple of years ago. I was a part of the Eminem lawsuit with Universal. It was a $69 million deal that we won. I've been all over the world. I've traveled all over the nation hundreds and hundreds of times. I've played for numerous people, from Martha Reeves to the Contours to Ingeborg Humperdinck, Tom Jones, just numerous people. Thelonious Monk, I played for him.
What do you play, Billy?
I'm a bass guitar player.
Oh, okay.
But see, the difference is I'm a bass guitar player that can sing.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of bass guitar players, they can sing, but they may not necessarily be lead singers and background singers. You know, they make an attempt at singing and they do well in bars, but to do it on a major stage is something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Those people that are professionals at it, we have a particular personality.
Yeah.
And we try not to boast about it too much. But the difference in a professional and somebody who's not is the fact that I should say an amateur, is that when you talk to other people about what you do as a professional, they think you're bragging. When you talk to a fellow professional that's done as much as you've done, they look at it as an achievement.
Yes. Yep.
They look at it totally different. And that includes if you get with somebody that's not in the business, if you get relatives could probably destroy your psyche worse than anybody else. Because even if you're a professional, you know, in our career, we go up and down. Either it's good or it's not. Like what happened with this pandemic. You know, everybody got caught up in this.
Yeah.
So, and nobody's making any money. I mean, so far the internet seems to be the closest thing anybody can try to do something with. And but when we get with our average relatives, they are the worst people to destroy your attitude, to destroy your feel good about being a professional.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to talk smart and tell them off.
Yeah, tell them off.
Yeah, half the time.
Uh-huh.
But the industry nowadays is so much easier. The problem with the industry, that's the good thing. The problem with the industry, it's a tedious, time-consuming process to build whatever it is you want to build up. And it's so time-consuming that it's almost worse than a job. You know, when we do this business, we don't look at it quite like a job because we like what we do. But what this business is all about, it evolves around being consistent. Case in point, the Kardashians. They don't have any skills. Their biggest skill is looking good.
Mm-hmm.
But they were able to incorporate a business out of looking good. And you can do that nowadays through the internet.
Yeah.
And let's say Taylor Swift, for example. Taylor Swift is talented. But what she did, she built her fan base. See, back in the day, how you built your fan base was you put stuff on the radio, you get your music on the radio, and people will buy your music, but you wouldn't necessarily be a part of their fan club unless somebody tell you, well, you got to mail in this, mail in that. It was very difficult back then. But nowadays, you develop your fan club through Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or all three. Why is that important? Is because if you look at people like Beyonce, she got the Beehive people. Beyonce has what, 10, 20 million people? Well, if just half of those 10 or 20 million people buy an album, that's enough to support all of us. You know,
Oh, that's right.
but in today's times, your fan base is everything. Your fan base is everything. And you don't even have to have millions of people for a record company to pay attention to you. You might only have 10,000 people watching you. That's good enough for a record company to want you. Only 10,000. And even if you have 1,000 nowadays, you can start making a living. Just 1,000 fans. See, fans are everything in this business. Matter of fact, in today's business, fans are the only thing. There's nothing else more important than having your fan base, which includes even having a good song. Because in most cases, people, they reach out to their fans to go buy whatever it is they ask them to buy. Of course, you have your website, you have your products, and what Prince did, you remember when Prince changed his name to the symbol? Well, what happened, what Prince did, and he was the one that started this, he put his new album into his ticket sales. So when you went to one of his shows, they gave you an album. That was a part of the ticket sales. He added the price into this ticket sales. And then they registered it with SoundScan. See, that's how he was able to be independent for so long. He registered all sales and nowadays SoundScan is using venues as part of the sales. You put your album into your ticket sales and you give away free, what's so-called free albums or free records or free CDs or free, whatever you want to give that's free. But that's a part of the ticket sales. Prince was very, very successful at that. Another artist that was very successful at that was India Arie. She done that with her concerts. She had a hit album with no radio play.
Wow.
She had no radio play. But she had a hit album because of it. And it wasn't just any old hit, it was a platinum hit. All she did was concerts around the world. And she registered her albums through SoundScan. Now, I want to also tell people that through sound, see, people ignore sound scan. And usually you have to register your songs through SoundScan to be registered for Billboard magazine. You know, we talk about the Billboard charts and that type of thing. Well, SoundScan is the source that Billboard uses. They're one of the main sources that Billboard uses to tally up if you had a hit song or not. Now, there's the other processes that you have to go through, such as sending your record. This is if you're independent. I'm talking about only independent people. There's a process of sending your records to the record pools. Now, back in old days, there were record pools that DJs used to go to get all of their new music. That's where DJs go to get their new music. They all join a record pool, and the record pool supplies all of the new music, and all the record companies, they supply the new music to the record pools. But nowadays, you can send your music to the record pools. And they will, and every major record pool has to have a chart, has to have charts. Every major record pool must have charts. So even if you didn't get on Billboard charts, you can get on a record pool's charts and be charting quite high on those charts. Now, of course, we all want to be a part of Billboard magazine, Billboard's charts, because that gives you the greater validity in the industry. But you have to, there's always a process. I tell people all the time, there's a process, particularly if you're doing it by yourself. Particularly then. But the great thing is that even the record companies nowadays, they're opening up their ability for you to access them in different ways. Case in point, there's a company called Amuse, AMUSE.io. Amuse is owned by Will.i.am.
Really?
Yes. But what's cool about them is they'll distribute your records for free.
Wow.
And not only will it distribute it for free, they distribute through Universal Records platform. It's not like a lot of these other companies, they might have maybe 10 or 11 distribution bases that they use. Muse uses Universal. And Universal, you know, they're the biggest record company in the world. But what's cool about Muse even further is if your song happens to be somewhat of a hit, let's say you only made $400 off of your song, a muse will come back at you and offer you an advance and a record contract. An advance and a record contract. And whatever the advance is, it could be based off of whatever song that you put in previously that became somewhat of a hit. So let's say that you had a one of your songs happened to be a million seller. Let's say that what they will do is come back at you based on how much your song earned. Now, keep in mind, when you went in and as they distribute your music, you get all of your royalties off of that. You get all of your royalties, they give you 100% back on your royalties. But when they offer you an advance, that advance is supposed to pay for your next recording and anything else that you need it for. Now, of course, you always have to pay back your advance.
Mhm.
A
Good,
lot of,
Billy?
huh?
Yeah, we have a question up. We want to throw that in, and then we also have we want to hear from Beth and Amuka's on as well. Give them some time to introduce themselves, and as we continue on. But right now, we're going to have Giselle to go ahead and ask your question or make your statement.
Billy, I know you talked about SoundScan, but do you still use Grace Notes
Unmute.
for
Okay.
technology?
Do we still use what?
Notes. Have you ever used Grace Notes? It's a data technology system just like SoundScan.
I don't use those B-rated programs.
No, well, Grace Notes has been around for years.
I know,
And-
I know of Grace Note quite well, but SoundScan's been around since the beginning of music almost.
Okay.
So they're the motherboard of. Now, mind you, there are other organizations that they've been around for quite some time, but SoundScan is the mother of all
Unmute.
networks of that nature.
Take it off.
God. Can you guys?
Okay. Hey, Amuka, hang on, we can't hear you right now.
Yeah, we see you though.
We
We
see
see.
you.
So Billy, is that sound SCAN SoundScan?
SoundScan, SOUNDSCAN. SoundScan.
Okay, great.
I see Sheila Brody is just talking and she hasn't unmuted herself.
Yeah. Sheila, you gotta unmute yourself, baby.
I did unmute myself.
Oh, there you go. We can hear you.
Okay. How you doing, darling?
Life is good.
I was trying to get
guys.
on, but I had to literally fill out a whole another registration all over again to get on. I filled that out before. So I don't know. That's what I've been here for a while trying to get on. So just
Well, we
Yeah,
just
me
welcome
too.
you and
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm Sheila.
I don't see
You're
Billy.
Sheila.
I can't see Billy or any. I can see you,
No,
but
he doesn't have his picture. He's working his way to his computer so he can join us.
Yeah, I had to use my phone.
And but we have had Beth on here from the very beginning, and I'd love to hear from her let her introduce herself and kind of share her path way to where I met her on the screen, because she was on The Voice, and we were definitely one of your fans.
Oh,
So if you could share about yourself and yeah, just share about yourself. As Billy said, brag about yourself.
Excuse me 1 minute.
so let me make sure. Can you hear me good?
Yes.
And can you see me good? Okay.
Yeah.
So I had to eventually log onto the Wi-Fi here, so to get it working. So I apologize for the technical difficulties. And so thank you for having me. I wanted to say hello to Giselle, hello to Billy. I love them dearly. And I've been sitting here with my pencil and paper taking notes. Billy, I'm listening to what you've been saying. So my name is Beth. My full name is Beth Griffith Manley. I'm the daughter of Johnny Griffith, the late funk brother from Motown. I miss and appreciate my dad so much for the legacy that he's left and the talent that I was born into that. And I'm so grateful for that. And one of the things that I've been doing is I believe just living and doing what God has gifted me to do, what my talents are, but also just to maintain the legacy that my father left. He left such a legacy with music, and it's just been an honor and a privilege to continue to sing and to stand and represent him and to continue and start my own legacy, which I leave. I'm a recording artist and I love to sing. Singing is just a passion of mine. I've loved to do it since I was a little girl. Even before my voice was developed to even do it. I used to sing as a kid and everybody would tell me to shut up because my voice wasn't developed, and it was something I was determined to do. So I grew into it and got lessons, and like Leslie is on the line, and Leslie's one of the people that I studied, when I first started singing and I wanted to be able to perform live. I used to go watch Leslie sing, and Leslie may not know this, but a lot of what I do is what I learned from her, just being able to perform and interact with people in a live setting. And I think as an artist, a lot of people don't understand how important that is. You can be a recording artist and you can record great, but to be able to interact with people live and to be able to perform, that's a gift that everybody doesn't have. And that's something that needs to be learned and to be studied. So I have to say, Leslie, thank you. I love you for that, because she's one of the people that has truly influenced what I do. I have recorded one album. My second album is finished now and it'll be out later this year. I'm really excited about that. I have several singles that are out and I'm just really proud of myself. So here's the bragging part. I'm really proud of myself for the work that I've done. I'm proud of myself for not quitting. I'm proud of myself for believing in myself. I'm proud of myself for putting myself out there on The Voice. That was something that I said I was going to never do, which was get into those singing competitions. I thought they were terrible. They're horrible. Why would I do that to myself? Well, I did it because I released my album as an independent artist. And as Billy was saying, it's very hard to be an independent artist when you don't have money to back you, or the amount of money that you would like to back you. And I started out, before I started recording music, I started out as a background singer. I started out under the tutelage of Michael Powell, and he introduced me to some great people, put me on several albums of noted artists. And I realized that that was a great thing. But when the main artist decides to go on vacation or take a break, then everybody goes home and then you don't have no money, you don't have no gig, you don't have nothing to do. Right. And I was just like, this is not working. So, working, the first major artist that I recorded for was Yolanda Adams. That was incredible. And then Mike was like, okay, I'm gonna take you to somebody else. And then he took me to Aretha Franklin. And Aretha Franklin was nice, but she said that I didn't have any touring background experience. So she told me no, like right to my face. And Aretha Franklin worked with my dad. My dad was her first keyboard player. So very well, she was like, yeah, I knew your daddy, but no, you don't have no experience. So it was like, okay, so it's no. And I was crushed, but okay. So then the next thing Mike said, I'm going to take you to somebody else. And then Mike took me to Anita Baker and I toured with her for a little over 5 years. That was an amazing experience for me. It was a boot camp for me. I learned so much. I grew so much. And you may see some of Anita in me when not the short hair, but the performance.
Yeah.
the performance and just the push and being in charge of what you do, and wanting it for yourself, and the push, because I learned a lot from her. I was able to sit back and watch her for years on stage, and I was able to have time to pick her brain and talk to her and ask her questions about being a female artist. And so from Anita, then I transitioned to work with Kim, and I still work with Kim. You know, of course, everybody's on kind of like a hiatus right now. And so I've been with Kim probably about 9 years, actually, doing background with him. So going back to when I said, when an artist takes a break, there's nothing else to do, I decided, you know, I need to do my own thing. I need to at least live out my full potential and be the best Beth that I can be, because there's talent in me. There's no need for me to sit and just utilize it as being a support artist when I can try to see what happens if I'm a lead singer. And Mike Powell really pushed me to do that, release my album. The second album is recorded. And that's how The Voice found me, actually, from my first album. They actually scout for professional artists or people who have recorded, and then they look for artists or who just want to sing, people who just sing in the shower, people whose mama told them they could sing. Like, they have an array of singers that are there. So in doing that, I wanted to do something different. I figured if I could get on television and I could boost my numbers on social media, you know, that's something Billy was talking about, your fan base, your social media is everything. So that was basically just strategic for me to get on television, to be able to build my fan base, to be able to allow a different set of people to see me who normally would not see me, and to draw them to my social media pages, which is my Facebook, which is my Twitter, which is my Instagram. And it did just that. The show taught me a lot. The show taught me that you have to, when you're working in Hollywood, you really need to go in there with your mindset on what your goal is, what you want to do. That show is not going to make you a star, but the show will put you on television, and the show will give you skills, and the show will give you experiences that you normally would not get. I was able to work with Hollywood stylists. I was able to work with Hollywood band. I was able to work with Hollywood television producers. I was able to be in that setting. And with that allowed me to bring that back home. So everything that I learned and I saw and I experienced in that setting for almost a year, because it takes about a year for you to go through the process of the auditioning and the rehearsals and the staging and the wardrobe and the hair. It's a very long process. You don't just walk up, audition, and then they put you on TV. I had started that process probably in June and did not actually tape my audition until October, which did not air until February of the next year. So it's a very long process. And I just learned a lot. I was just a sponge. I wanted to see what was out there. I wanted to see what was available to me. I wanted to know that I was able and capable of doing it. Now, I got voted off. I got sent home, and that happens. But I was there, and it was an amazing experience for me, because I come back home to Detroit as a stronger singer, a stronger person with more confidence, more experience. I've seen some things that there's some people that will never see. So I have that here. I have that here. And I can apply that with the band that I work with. I can apply that with my team that works with me. I can share those stories with other artists to help them as well. So my experience, I think, on TV has been amazing. I brought it back and applied that additional knowledge that I learned on my second album. And I'm really proud of myself for sticking my neck out there, because I think as being an artist, part of what we do all the time is stick our necks out there, and we make ourselves very vulnerable to other people and their opinions and how they feel about us and how they feel about our music. We love our music. Our music is our baby, but everybody ain't gonna love your baby like you do. And you have to be confident in what you do. And I'm also very careful of the people that I work with, my team, the energy that's around me. All of those things are very important. I'm very careful of how I put myself out there on social media. Once it's out there, it's out there. Everything that you do in your home, in your personal life, is not for everybody to know and to see. You know, I'm married. I don't always put my husband on social media. I do every once in a while, you know, but that's not why I have social media. My social media is to promote and to push my music. So I love what I do. I have a better and greater self-love for myself. And I can't wait till y'all hear my whole second album. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I've heard a couple of your tunes and they are awesome. And the photo shoot you did was awesome. Some of those pictures are,
Thank you.
They are Hollywood worthy pictures.
Thank you. I have an amazing team. I'm so blessed. My manager is incredible. I just have an amazing people working with me. My music director, Marcus Devine, he's incredible. We actually have a show here Friday. We're doing our own show. We sold it out. You know, we're just being creative and my music director is an artist as well. So we're being creative in what we do to market ourselves. I use my social media totally as a marketing platform. I'm learning how to do different things myself so I don't have to rely on other people to do it. But when there's help needed, I have the wherewithal to get help so that I can balance my life. Because again, I'm married. I have a mother that's a senior that lives with me and I'm her full-time caregiver. My mother has Alzheimer's and dementia. I have to maintain that. I don't tell people that a lot. You know, for me to be here today, I have somebody sitting at the house with my mother preparing meals and watching and caring for her so that I can do this. So there's a balance that I have to have and that I have to maintain so that I can be an artist. And then I have a husband that supports as well. So it's a lot.
Billy, you don't need your mask on.
Yes, I do. I have a crowd here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He brought his fans.
Okay. Well, the only person that we have not heard from is Miss Sheila Brody Head. Can you unmute yourself? I'm standing in for
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi. You know, it was amazing listening to Beth's story because her story is so close to what my girlfriend, Jeanette Magruder, of course, you guys know I'm a Bride of Frankenstein. Jeanette Magruder is the other Bride of Frankenstein. And she's told me recently that she dreamed. Satori. I'm sorry, Satori, but I've known her forever.
Yeah, I knew her from high school. Okay.
Okay. Well, I've worked with her like a long time. We're very close. But anyway, she said she dreamed that I had done The Voice 2 nights in a row. And I was like, I don't even know how to go about doing anything like that. I mean, I don't even want to go. I mean, when you go on The Voice, do they have to broadcast your age?
Well, that was one of the things that was a concern of mine because, as I tell people, I'm not a spring chicken, I'm a summer chicken.
Mainly.
So yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so really, I mean, as women, we work really hard to make sure we take care of ourselves, we preserve ourselves and preserve our voices, everything.
Right, everything.
And they will, you have to make sure you're okay with that because they're going to talk about your age. And the one thing is that when they edit that show, they're going to edit it to their liking. So case in point, I'm standing on the stage, I'm doing my blind audition. And the question was, hi, what's your name? Where are you from? And they asked me some other questions and then they ended up asking me how old I was.
Whoa.
And they edited it so that it made me say, hi, I'm Beth, I'm 46 and I'm from Detroit. So that's not what I said.
Wow.
That's what they edited.
Right.
So I had no idea until they played it back.
Oh dear.
But I had to be comfortable with myself and know if you are over 18, well, really, then I'm exaggerating when I said it. They start to really push the age issue when you're probably over 35. But you also need to know this when you go there, because there's people that are there that are 16. So from 16 to 35, that's a big gap. But also know this, there are people when you get there, and I also want to tell you this, if you want to do The Voice, do it. Because there are people that are going to be there from 16 to probably 60. There's going to be a huge range of people that are in that age group. And then they will start to dissect you based on your vocal ability and you working with a live band and your attitude, your coachability, and your personality. Those are the things that they do, that they look for. So if you, I'm sure, I know, you telling me you're Brad Funkstein, you know how to sing with a live band.
Yes.
But you
I have
have to
all-
go
I have
in there.
everything. I have everything I
But
need
when
to
you
do.
go in there, you have to go in there as if you are there to be coached, not as if I'm
Like
already
I know what I'm
learned.
doing. Right.
Yes.
I've learned to be coachable, I think, because working with George Clinton, I mean, you really will. You're going to learn to be coachable, or you're just not going to be there, basically.
And thing you just have to go in as a blank slate,
Right.
and
I
you're
still don't
going
know.
in as, you know.
I love your story, and I still don't know if I'm going to do it, but it's like, the main thing is that we have to build up our social media appearance, or how we appear on social media. And that's a real thing, and I have a lot of fans. I just have to like bring them all together, because after I mean, I work with I work with
Sheila,
huh?
brag about yourself.
Oh gosh. Okay, my name is Sheila Brody. Okay. I'm a writer Frankenstein. I'm a P-Funk All-Star. I've worked with Chuck D and the Public Enemy. We had I had like a song that we did 2 million hits on YouTube. I mean, I have all those things. I've worked with a lot of really cool people, Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, but I'm not really a background. I never wanted to really be a background singer. The only reason I became a background singer is because when that position became available, when George hired me, that was the position that was available. So I took it, but I was not a background singer for very long, because then I became a lead singer for the Brides. I transitioned, and then I don't want to do background. Did you see? I'm sure you saw 50 Feet from Stardom, right? Right. Like I know Lynn Mabry, I know those people, and it's like there's some tremendous background singers. Cindy Mizell. I mean, these singers are incredible, and they say that if you become a background singer, it can be like quicksand to a lead singer's life. That's what I was told. So it's kind of scary, but I don't really want to be a background singer anymore. I just really want to do my own thing. And I really commend you for doing your own thing, Beth. And, it's really important that you get that out there and show who you are. Because obviously you're really good. You wouldn't be doing all this if you weren't great. So.
Well, Sheila, let me tell you this, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you did background, I did background, I still do background. As time continues to move in our lives,
yes,
you owe it to yourself to do what you want to do while you're still here.
I would do background.
I'm saying you want to do more lead. You want to put yourself out there, and you already have fans. So the only thing that I would say you do is, if your fans are kind of scattered, get them organized on your social media. Take a little bit of time to organize your social media so that you get everything together and you get it organized and structured. And then you take the next step, because when you get off of that show, you need to be able to catapult from the fan base that you already have and what you built. You don't need to get off that show or any huge platform where you have 8, 9, 10 million people seeing you. And then you get off and then you say, oh, okay, what should we do? You should have a plan of action already. My album was already out. I came right home and I worked like crazy. Because I had everything structured. So, go forward, do whatever you want to do. There's several platforms, there's several things that you can do to start to structure your fan base and build it, but do it, because time continues to go. And then we sit around and then we're like, oh, this is what I want to do. And I've been that person to do that. And that's why I end up going on the show. So you can do it, but if you have fans already, get your fans together, get them, love on your fans, interact with them, use your social media to the best of your ability, and then take off running.
Did you ever meet someone named Kamal Humphrey when you were doing The Voice? He's the audio supervisor for what's the one? Not The Voice, but Idol, American Idol. And I actually did.
I don't think so, because they're two different networks, and so I was totally on NBC network, and so the ABC was in a whole nother.
He's an audio supervisor. He moves around.
Okay.
Like he might do something for The Voice, and he does a lot. He's very well connected. I have an album that we did, and we're about to launch that. I'm in the middle of that right now. Plus,
congratulations.
Thank you. And I have a song that was released in Spain on Vamos Music, which is doing really well. That's a dance label. See, I do dance, then I do funk, then I do hip hop, and I'll do whatever the music is good, because I love music. Music is my life. And I love being able to express myself in any way that I can musically. And I don't like deny myself something because I don't like that genre.
Right.
I like all music. I love music. Billy, I like where you brag on me way better than I can't brag. I like the way you do it. I'm not so good at it.
Two things. I wanted you to talk about your hit song.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I've had quite a few number ones actually.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been really blessed like that. All my songs in the dance were all like, even not just dance, but they crossed over, but they all were above they were all top 10s. So to me, that was a blessing because I don't know, it just happened. And Billy was the one that says it's been consistent. Like I've always had songs out. I've never stopped. And they've been number ones, but you know, my European fans are huge. I'm bringing them back over here, but just like I said, putting them all together and getting that team that you're talking about, that team that you have. Did you have that team developed before you went to The Voice, or did you add more, did it become more developed because you were on The Voice?
I had a manager before I got to the show, and that's actually how they found me, through my manager, or he did something. I don't know.
From Detroit? Is your manager from Detroit?
Yes, originally, yes, but now he lives in Atlanta, but he's originally from Detroit. That is how I met him. The person who actually serves as a stylist is actually my friend. She just has an amazing fashion sense. So I have someone to help me with clothing. And everybody else that I work with are people who I've known, and we have kind of solidified what we want their position to be. Or there have been people that have come to me, actually literally just last week. 2 people came on board and they are part of the team, and they have specific duties that they do. And so what I did was I just take time to be very quiet, very still, and to just identify what it is that I need. And manifest and draw that to me. And it literally happens. I've had people to come in and work with me, and it didn't work out, and then they've had to leave. And then I've had people to come in from day one, and they've been there the whole time, and they stuck it out. So it just depends.
I think the most difficult part is having a manager that you can really trust, because I've had managers before, but it seemed like they didn't want to really do the work. They wanted me to bring the stuff to them and sit it in their laps, and then they get all this credit. I'm like, wait a minute, I want you to help me get this stuff rather than me bringing it to you all the time. You know, how that you have to have a really good person.
But at the same time, there is a lot of work that I do because I did everything myself in the very, very, very beginning. And what I had to learn how to do was to take my hands off and let my manager do his job. And oftentimes I run across things that he knows nothing about, and I bring it to him. So there is a collaboration that we do when we work together. But I think as an artist, depending on how serious you are, and I'm not saying you're not, but a serious artist won't mind digging and looking for what it is they need to make themselves successful. They'll just do it. So just keep doing what you're doing, keep looking, keep digging, keep pushing. And then when that person is there, somebody will come to you.
Well, I was pretty big star in Italy. I mean, a really big song called Peace over there that was huge. And then I came back home. I mean, I've experienced superstardom. That's not even, but it's not even about that. It's about maintaining, you know, your lifestyle, being happy while we're doing it. I felt like when we first started this, they're always pushing like your career. And we tend to not, you put your personal life on the back burner, and that's a big mistake. That personal life is is the basis or the background of the backbone of how you're going to build. And sometimes I think sometimes young people get the wrong message that you push that career over everything else. And I don't think that's the right message personally.
I agree.
Because in the end, you're like, wait a minute, what's important?
Because I have to balance home. You know what I'm saying?
And my mother is starting to show signs of memory loss. I mean, not memory loss, but short-term thing, but it's not there. But I can't imagine what you're going through, and I'm just beginning to see it. I have so much respect for that.
Thanks. So and the crazy thing is my mother didn't initially have dementia. She had a stroke, which put her into vascular dementia, which turned into the full-blown dementia, which turned into Alzheimer's. And she was going through that. She had a stroke and she was going through her recovery while I was on the show. So I literally was in LA for almost a year and had to leave her at home. My husband helped care for her. I had people, like people have no idea. But like when I got voted off the show, I was sad, but it was time for me to come home because I left my mother at home.
That's right. We only get one.
Yeah.
That's why I'm back in Detroit, because when my mother lives here, I was living in LA, you know, and I was like, my husband's like, we were together at the time. He said, you need to come home and definitely spend this time with your mom. And he was so right. And I'm so glad that I'm here for her right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm really, that's a good thing.
It's a lot.
Let me tell you too something that most people don't know. Beth knows a piece of the story. When I first came to Detroit, we put together a song called Reach Out Everyone. Mm-hmm. And Beth was the lead vocalist of that song. Her and
Ollie
Woodson. Mm-hmm. Well, what you don't know is that we're putting that song out this year.
Wow. Nice. If I can be of any assistance, Billy.
Well, this song.
When y'all putting it out? Did nobody call me?
Of course not. It's the pandemic.
Am I still gonna be on it?
It's the pandemic. Yes.
You know I'm clowning.
It's your version that we're doing.
Wow, you know I'm clowning, but I thank you. I appreciate it.
With Ollie Woodson.
Wow.
And, you know, as you remember, we had a star-studded group that helped to put all of that together.
It was incredible.
It was.
I had no idea what I was singing on at the time. I was just like, okay, can I sing? You know.
It was a beautiful song, and nobody could have done it any better at the time.
Thank you.
And it was originally for the Katrina.
Yes, it was for Hurricane Katrina, and then it just didn't.
I had contacted the mayor of New Orleans, and he was willing to support that entire project, and we were going to just contribute the royalties to Katrina. But you know, things kind of flip-flopped then, and we had to stop everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, we got new stuff to send.
Well, I'm excited. Yeah.
Billy, are you inside your home? Your office?
I'm inside of my home with a troop of people.
He got his fans
I was
on.
wondering why he had the mask on.
I didn't expect them to be here.
Yeah, Billy, you just representing wearing that mask, and I don't blame you, man, because I don't wear their mask. I have a question. How many? This might be a question. I'm curious. How many of you are vaccinated fully? Anybody? Nobody.
I am.
Who is that? Giselle?
Yes, I am.
You Giselle? Who's saying I am? I can't.
Giselle.
Oh well, good for you, sweetheart. I am.
I know her voice anywhere.
I am too, and I have to try to make people understand that I did that not for myself, not just for me, because I dreaded the idea of me getting it and giving it to someone else, and then they pass away. I couldn't live with that. So, and plus, my son came to visit me. None of that would be happening, and his grandmother, if we were fully immunity, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't be happening. So I encourage people, and yes, people might get upset and they have their own ideas, but I still feel it's my job to just think, even you, Billy. Billy, I know Billy's scared. You told me. You're not scared.
But you know what? Let me say this. I have been around my mother, my husband. My husband works for UPS. My mother is at home 79. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my nieces, my nephews, my entire band, everybody. None of us are vaccinated. Nobody's been sick.
Well, you guys are really blessed, but I've had like close friends die from COVID-19.
I've had close friends die as well. I know 2 people.
Is there a reason why you don't want to get the vaccine? I'm just curious.
I don't know what the long-term effects are, and I would like to watch and get more information. That's my opinion. And then second, I actually have a friend who is a thoracic surgeon. Look her up. Her name is Dr. Maisha Esco. She's one of the few Black female thoracic surgeons in the United States. And she is unvaccinated. And she says she's not interested in being vaccinated. She gets tested before she performs the surgery. And she's also a PhD scientist. And when this first happened, I called her immediately. I called her for everything. And she told me to wait and watch for the long-term effects and get some more data before we do it. And that's my person that I go to. There's not enough information. And based on the facts that you're seeing that people are vaccinated and still getting COVID and still getting hospitalized, they don't have enough information yet. So what I do is my household, we eat very healthy. We eat very clean. I take immune boosting vitamins. Out of 7 days a week, I try to get in the gym about 5. I have plenty of sunlight in my house, and we're just doing it that way. And I'm okay with the body fighting it off.
I have to say that two people in my building that work for in our building, they got COVID-19, and unfortunately, one of them passed away, who I really adored. And the guy that got it, he had just given me a package, and I put the package down. But I'm saying I am fully vaccinated, so I was not. I didn't feel upset or anything. I was like, okay, I knew I was out of the woods because I was. And my cousin, my cousin's daughter and husband, all of them the whole family got it. He works for UPS. And he got it. And you know, when you said UPS, they don't know where it came from.
Yeah, I lost a dear friend. You know, Brenda Perryman was a very dear friend of mine, and she passed away. Yeah, and I miss her and love her dearly.
Wait a minute, who was it?
Brenda Perryman. She died. I talked to her a week before she died. I mean, me and my husband called her, checked on her, everything. She wasn't even sick at the time. I understand everybody's opinion and their reasons. But again, I say people who are vaccinated are still getting it. So until they figure that out.
I got you. I understand.
I got vaccinated because I have sarcoidosis and I have an impacted immune system. So got vaccinated. I still wound up in the hospital for a week. I didn't have COVID, but I had a sarcoidosis flare-up. They don't know if getting the vaccine caused me to have a flare-up, but I stayed in the hospital isolated for 7 days because they wanted to make sure I didn't catch.
Right.
But hey.
But Giselle, you okay now, right?
Okay now.
Yeah.
And I love you. You know I love you, Giselle. So.
As long as you're not walking around on your knuckles, you okay.
Yep.
Miss Sheila Everett over there. I want to tell you, those earrings, I love those earrings. I just want you to know, I really want a pair. I'm not kidding. Wherever you got them, can we talk later?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I had to say that. But
Leslie. Leslie Ferguson.
Yep, Leslie's down there.
Leslie, turn on your mic.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, Leslie. I might have to text her. She's somewhere in the house.
Might be cooking, you know.
But Leslie got that restaurant. She's in there getting her money.
I don't blame her.
I'm sorry, I'm here. I was trying to figure out how to get back in.
Hey, Leslie.
Yes.
Brag about yourself, please.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, first let me say, Beth, I love you. You know that.
I love you.
Yes, I am an entertainer, and I've been doing this for over 35 years.
God bless you.
I'm married to a musician, and I do outside things to satisfy my other career goals, such as restaurant businesses and rental properties and things like that. And I am currently about to put out some new music. And I was a background singer for Aretha Franklin. I did a lot of studio background stuff for a lot of folks throughout my years. Is that enough bragging, Billy?
No.
I'm like,
Tell them, who you opened up for.
who I've opened up for?
Yeah.
It's been quite a few. The Time,
Temptations.
Dinners,
Or Tops.
Four Tops. Y'all helping me, right? Over 35 years, it's been a lot of things. Shane Park, Fox Theater, a lot of stuff. I also sang background with Keith Washington, Yolanda Adams. I'm sorry, not Yolanda, Olita Adams.
Olita, we like her too.
My biggest claim to fame, I guess, would be Aretha Franklin. I was able to experience the real super duper star treatment. I was treated, I could say, as well as she was. Just being
wow. Then you know Greg Dunmore. Yeah.
I know Greg. And I'm still in very good standings with the family, and we're just working out stuff.
Well, you know, I would be interested in doing background work in Detroit, like in the studio, but I haven't been here. And so, I mean, I'm just back now. So I wouldn't even know where to start letting anybody know. I didn't even know anybody was really still recording it in the studio. It seems like a lot of them are just like not even working.
But actually, I'm also in the process of putting together a website for background vocalists. So when people do come into the city, they can contact the site and get the type of background that they need. I'm sorry, how could I miss? I am the president of Detroit Metro Area Musicians and Entertainers Association.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
I was waiting on her to
Yeah,
say
right.
it.
You're right. Bill and I are sitting here like, well, what about us?
Okay, so like I said, I'm not very good on bragging on myself, but I've got a long trail behind me.
What makes bragging important? See, we're amongst comrades.
Right.
Being amongst comrades is a whole different perspective than being amongst the general public. And of course, we're humble about the fact that we've done so much, but also when you've done so much throughout the years, of course, you're going to forget about a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
You know, I've been doing it for 50 years, so I don't remember half the stuff until one of my friends that was with me at that time bring it up.
Right.
Then I might happen to remember something then. You know, but the thing about the industry is that, like I said before, it's really not that difficult. It's just so tedious. Everything about it today, in today's times, is tedious. But if you want to go through the tediousness of it, okay.
I wish there was more camaraderie. Camaraderie.
Yeah.
You know, when I came back to Detroit, I thought everybody's gonna open arms, hey, welcome me. That did not happen at all.
Now, Martha Reed is the one to talk to on that perspective.
Yeah.
She said, I don't get no love in this city. I go across the border and I'm the biggest star. I don't know what.
Yep.
That's the way we do it here, I guess.
Yep, that's the way you do it here. And see, I'm from Ypsilanti, Ann Arbor. So I was on the outside looking in.
I was born and raised in Detroit.
So I can see what y'all are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I created my own path, so I wasn't trying to follow anybody. So, and Leslie was actually one of the first people I met when I came here.
Was it Leslie or me?
Nope, it was Leslie. I met you a bit after that. And what was interesting was how the musicians ping pong back and forth from band to band. And see, I'm not accustomed to that. All of our musicians, they all stuck in the same band for 50 years with the same people.
Yeah, I think our musicians are gig searchers. Who got a gig? Okay, I'm in that band.
Yeah.
Who up next?
Yeah. But
That's up next.
but I know when I started the Detroit Black Music Awards, Misty came to me and asked me if I would help her to put that together. And
Misty, I love Misty. Misty's really, she's very, very sweet. And when Belita, I don't know if you guys know Belita Woods.
Yes.
One of my very, very, very close friends. She's also a colleague as a P-Funk All-Star. And she basically, when they were doing down at Burt's, she took me down there, and Misty, she said, Misty, look out for her. And Misty is one person that has done that in terms of all of the singers here in Detroit. She's really sweet about looking out for other singers. She's one person I can say that does do that. She's a rare one.
Can I ask a question to you singers, you entertainers, because I'm not a singer, but I always work for you guys. A lot of times the public will think that you're not approachable, but my take on that is a lot of times it's not Beth's attitude or Leslie's attitude or Sheila's attitude, but sometimes it's the people that's around them that think that they are protecting the artist, but they're pissing off the public.
Oh my God.
Because I have been places where Aretha was. I was in the bathroom at the Rooster Tail, and some security person came in and told me that I had to leave because Aretha had to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, well, there's 6 stalls in here. I'm only using one. And they tried to put me out. But when they went and got the police officer that walked in there and I outranked him, he said, I'm sorry, I can't make her leave. She's my boss. And I'm like,
whoa,
I never make me leave. I had to pee. So they made Aretha stay outside the restroom till I finished. And I told her, I said, well, Aretha, I'm actually working undercover tonight and I am your security. I am the police. So y'all coming in telling me to get out. That doesn't make any sense. And I know people will step in front of the audience. People are trying to keep you away from Beth. But it's not Beth doing it. It's the people that are around that want to protect you. How do you handle that?
Well, this is interesting because I just had this conversation with my husband. I said, when I met Rihanna, Kelly Rowland, Pitbull, like I've done shows with Pitbull and Kelly Rowland when I was in New York. And I said, their entourage. I said, they were nice, but their entourage, they were unbelievably mean, just like unbelievable. I got the idea that they were bigger stars than the star was. That's the impression I got. So I definitely agree with you. We are approachable, but a lot of times I'm sure those people don't even see what they're doing because you can't watch what they're doing all the time, but they can give that bad impression, to fans and other people about you. I don't even know what to do about that. That's interesting. But it's true. You're very right.
I think it's up to the artist to talk to their team and let them know the energy that they want projected. Because my team represents me. So if I have a team that has an attitude, then they're going to automatically think I have one. And so the people that work with me have to have the same type of, they're supposed to do their job and do their job in excellence, but I don't want anybody being mean and rude. So I have a security guy. His name is Space. I love him. and they call him Face because he's gonna give you face. Like you're gonna be scared to come up to him. He's the nicest guy ever. But we talk all the time, and I tell him, you know, don't make anybody feel like they don't want to support me. I don't want anybody to feel like they don't want to support me because they have to go through you first. Now, if you see somebody out of line, that's something different. And I think everybody I work with is very nice. I believe they're very kind. And I often tell people, if something happens and you have a problem with somebody, let me know, especially if it's somebody that knows me, that pick up the phone. Giselle, if I'm out somewhere and something happens with my people, Giselle gonna call me and be like, hey, that was a good show, but your girl over at the merch table, I need you to tell me that. So that can be handled. So just like you say, I believe that your team and your staff is a reflection of the artist. And I believe it's up to the artist to have a conversation with their team to tell them, I need you to do your job, but I need you to have a sweet spirit because I don't want anybody not supporting me because you got an attitude at your house. So, you know, that's how I handle that.
Well, when I worked with Rick James, I know like his bodyguards were just wild. I mean, one of them actually, I think, got killed because of whatever was going on. Something really happened. But even though you tell them that and you give them that, you can't watch them 24/7. That's the problem. You may give that message, which we have, but I was kicked by Rick James' bodyguard who was trying to, they talk about sexual harassment. They talk about the Me Too movement, but they don't talk about the people that you are literally assaulted because you won't give in to the sexual harassment. That's another thing. That's a whole thing. But it was handled, but it wasn't, when I went to court about it, they never even talked about the sexual harassment part because at that time, Me Too was still under the radar. It was still kind of like allowed, you know, and nobody really said anything. If the person was that big, like a Russell Simmons, you were told to just avoid them, basically. It wasn't handled, it was handled completely differently. And I'm glad that nowadays that people are standing up and the truth is coming out. Because I had to deal with it, and I really don't know if it affected my career. Because people say, did it affect your career? Because I sued Rick James and I won. But I had to sue his company, which he had insurance, so he didn't come out of his pocket, because he hired that guy who used to be a police officer and who had a very bad record as far as his anger. But he hired that man, and that man kicked me because I basically, it was crazy. Yeah, because I wouldn't sleep with him. Period. Straightforward. And because my mother always taught me, you don't sleep where you eat. You know what I mean? If this guy's paying you, you're not gonna sleep with him. That was just not gonna happen. So I went through that. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, I missed some of the conversation because speaking of COVID, right? My brother, I had to sit in on a call from the nurse because it's time to bring him home, and Pam and I, there's 4 of us girls, and we look out for our brother, you know. So we had to find out what to do and to take care in order to take care of him. But you know, in some of the conversation, what parts I did hear, this is because what we want to talk about is how can the music industry be better? You know, what's working and what's not working. And for me, I take on that I am totally 100% responsible for my life, for the success of it, for the ups and downs of it. And there can be no better. I mean, there can be, but basically there should be no better promoter of you than you, you know. And so sometimes you step out, because in the braiding industry, I'm a master and I'm a pioneer in that. But as time went on and I stopped doing some things, then when I showed back up, those new people who had come into the industry did not know who the hell I was, you see. So I had to realize that I had to stay current. I had to continue being involved with the networking and being involved and creating my own shows or my own events so that my name stays up there, because everybody is struggling. And so where we want people to look out for us and do this for us, one, they may move on into whatever's next for their life, and including drama and trauma and sickness and or that we're doing great now. And now I have these other people that I'm responsible for money coming in for them, and my decisions that I make will impact all of them. So maybe I don't have time for the people that I used to hang with when everything was popping. Well, life has gone and I've gone, and now I'm
Evolving.
come back. And so now I realized I can't. I mean, when I looked up and they were doing hair shows and hadn't called me, I said, I'm the teacher here. Why aren't they calling? It's because I had focused on building right in that space, building my business and stuff, and had not been out into the community like I was. So what I do, I just went back out there and I let them know that I'm here. And what I also learned is you do unto others what you want done unto you. So you start helping somebody, like, that's a spiritual law. You want something, you give it first, and then it will come back. Then it will come back. And just be aggressive, and not I don't want to say aggressive. I want to say assertive in making life happen for you. And so, and if you're giving out the right energy, then that's what's going to come back to you. Nobody is responsible for nobody. You're only responsible for yourself. And just you get out there and you got to start pumping it again. So I know that I know a lot of people who help a lot of people, but I know also the struggles that they personally have. And every day new people are coming into those people. Those who do shows and stuff, new people are always going to come in that they have to then also include them in their decisions now, because these are new people. They could be babies or they could be masters like you all, and your expectation is different than the ones who are new and babies. Totally different thing. Just like in life, you expect that the older ones would do certain things so that you can focus on the babies. But everybody got to come in. It's the same with every business. It's the same with every industry. It's the very same thing. And as we get older, then they're looking for things that are new. And the older people, even those who ran clubs and had all those opportunities, well, they're older now too. And so, and we're not doing what the new people, the new sounds are. We're not doing the hip hop. We're not doing those things. And so it's not as readily available, those bookings and things like that. So, the person that I am is that I will create. I will create that. As a matter of fact, this being created kind of came from me and Philip. We're putting out 7 new songs. And that's new for me. I've not done that. During the COVID, I wrote 7 songs with my husband. Now he's just a musician. That's it. People ask me, how's Philip doing? Is he still playing? I say, is he still alive? Because I will just put him out of his misery if something happened with his hands and stuff. I will be going to jail because I done already just killed him because he would be like, terrible, because that's what he does. That's who he is. So then it was like, okay, we got 7 songs and none of them had played. Well, this is the 3rd night and our songs have not been played. Last night I said, Philip, Friday is our night. We're going to put all of our songs. It's going to be our night because that's what we did this for. So we're going to feature our music, and so that we can focus on getting people in on that night to hear our brand new music. So what I'm saying is you have to think outside the box. That old stuff is not working now. You got to do stuff with the internet, and that's what we talk about. The new norm for this industry is doing stuff like this and doing concerts on the internet where you don't have an audience. Oh my goodness. And now when they come back, as everybody gets freed up and, do whatever they got to do so that the world is free to move about and be with one another, don't think you're still not going to have to use the internet, because now you have in your doings of being involved with this, now people can see you from all over. Well, they still want to be able to do that. So now when the clubs, like we think about the Baker Keyboard Lounge, and they got the $40,000. Well, I pray that they will put some, do something with the background on the stage, because that black background, when you're trying to video and put it on live, it comes out blue. So, you know, they have to rethink how they're doing things, and already have the sound system right, and already have the cameras already there set for the new day. This is a new day. And so just as Baker's is known all over, it's the oldest, right? So people want to hear from them from Japan, and they want to hear from them from China and from Africa. So the new setup of the new world is that you are live, but you're also broadcasting all over at the same time. It's the new way of thinking. We got to think of the new way of thinking. So nothing stops anybody from promoting themselves, because it's on the internet. So if you want to get known, you got to start doing something, bring in them young kids, bring in the 3-year-old who say, give me that, grandma, and just bam, bam, bam. And there you are on there. But we gotta, the old way is not working. We can't depend on that, because we're all getting older, and we have to depend on the younger generation to put us out there. So that comes along with the thinking outside the box. And that also comes with your personality of whether people want to, you know, get with you and help you, because it can't be just about you, because everybody, and that's what the City of Art, it's about everybody, and whatever gifts you have, we come together and we help and make it work. And I'm not the star, we're all the stars, because if I don't have this person doing this part of, like what Tylene has done for us, is to put us up on in the virtual world without me having to work on it, because it would not be like this if I had to work with it. And I've done some, but I also know all the hiccups and stuff that I just couldn't do, you know, with this on this level, on this size. And we want to go higher. So I had to call somebody and bring them in to do that. And then she has her ideas. Giselle has her ideas on how we can make it bigger and grander. And so I just say, just try stuff now. Just, you know, get yourself out there. And Amuka, girl, you bad. I haven't seen your videos and stuff. So just have somebody create a channel around it with your experience and stuff. People would want to hear from you. And so it's like, yeah. And
I have a lot of, you know, I've always, Billy was the one that basically told me that I've been evolving. Like, I know that you have to evolve. Ever since I look at David Bowie or Madonna, you look at those artists, how they just evolved. It just, you have to evolve. It's like, you know, you have to roll with it. You have to play the game. You can't go against the game. Like the record companies messed up. They didn't play the game. That's why there aren't a lot of record labels left, real ones. Mm-hmm. Am I right, Billy? Where the labels at? And plus, they weren't necessarily being fair. Karma.
The thing about today's times is that it allows you to be yourself, and independent. But you have to know how to be independent.
Yes, yeah.
The internet's been around for over 30 years.
Right.
This is not a new platform.
No.
Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, we're forced into this Zoom thing.
You may not have been a part of it, but the internet itself has grown tremendously. It has allowed us to be able to be a personality, even if you're not a personality.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
YouTube is wonderful because you could be the silliest person in the world. No, you could be the stupidest person in the world.
Right. You could be a monkey eating a banana and get 1 billion hits.
Now, let me tell you,
And that's real.
Over 1,000 hits, over 1,000 subscriptions, YouTube will start paying you.
But I don't know, because
And
I got 2 million with,
not
wait a
only,
minute.
not only will they pay you, but based on how many subscriptions you have, I ain't talking about hits, likes.
You say subscriptions. Can you be more clear?
If you go on YouTube, there's always that subscribe button, and people always ask you to click that subscribe button.
Okay.
It's the subscribe button that they look at, not how many
Like you
people
have.
like your
Okay.
page.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Not
But
only do they pay you, but they consistently pay you even as soon as you get that X number of subscriptions.
wow.
It's over 1,000.
Yeah, then they'll pay you.
From
for
that
every hit.
point on, they pay you forever.
See, I didn't know that, Billy. We need to definitely have a talk about that one.
They pay you forever.
I love that forever.
You
So
can
my
pass-
question,
you
yeah,
can pass
I
on.
know that's right.
You can pass it on to your kids,
Right.
and
Right.
your kids can pass it on to them.
Yeah.
And Miss
oh,
Sheila,
that's how Justin Bieber
oh, good Lord.
really started, because his mother hired a company that would go out and grab subscribers and grab people to come to his page. That's how he got found out about, that's how, what's his name?
Let me tell you about that.
What's the best way to get subscribers?
Wait a minute, let me tell you about that.
Please tell
You,
me.
first of all, for a period of time,
Probably have them. Don't
you
know.
can buy subscribers.
Oh,
But these were not real subscribers. These were
Right.
bots.
Right.
Bots. Mhm.
Now, mind you, they slacked up recently, so they're allowing bots again.
Mhm.
Really?
And a lot of the major people are buying those bots
Mhm.
to add to their site, subscribe to their site.
Oh.
Now, maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, when they started cracking down on these major stars, they had fake subscribers.
Mhm.
Some of the biggest stars in the world, they all had fake subscribers. Beyonce,
Mhm.
Justin Bieber,
Get the money.
everybody.
Hey,
Everybody had fake subscribers, and they had them in the millions.
Mhm.
yep. Well, I could use some.
So
I would love to have millions and millions of
now,
subscribers.
mind you can still do that today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
You
it.
can still buy
But
subscribers.
there's
Uh-huh.
a process of doing it. There's a process involved with doing it. You can't just go buy 1 million subscribers and expect for YouTube not to be looking at you. It's best to buy 10,000 at a time and let those 10,000 people
Bring more
gradually
people.
build up.
Right.
There are some recording artists, they're totally unknown, but they got 10 million members, 10 million subscriptions.
I know.
Why
And it's like at the
would these
Grammys.
people that's in Homebuck, Mississippi, have 10 million subscribers, and nobody on television has ever even heard of them before?
Because they're playing the game. That's
Yeah.
how.
They're
The only
playing the
game is
game.
they bought they went to Fiverr or SEO Clerk or any of the other networks, the independent networks, and they go there to buy their memberships. That's where they go. Fiverr is the big one. FIVERR.com.
Mhm.
Now, Billy, when they do that, where they're purchasing 10,000 subscribers, are these real people that do get?
No,
So there's no interaction with these people?
no.
So what I want to share about that there's always that cheap, that quick way of doing something, but does it get what you want done? And where is the integrity of that? So what I want to say,
whoever subscribed to your channel, let's say that you got 1,000 bots that sign to your channel. All you need is 1,000 for YouTube to start paying.
Oh, well, this is really great. I'm glad y'all did this today, because I can't believe I didn't know that there was actually a difference. Like I didn't know that. And I'm sure I'm not by myself.
Now, the good thing, there is one good thing. Now there are people out there that can get you, real people. You still gotta buy them.
Right. Like if you hired me to work your page, I would go out and pull all these people, assign them to your page, communicate with these people on your page as if I'm you. Yeah. But with clients that I've had that I've done that for, like if I was working for Sheila and I'm working her page and I'm communicating, the communication is important. You have to interact with the people on the page to make them feel that they are a part of what you're doing. Right. And if I'm working for Sheila and Beth walks up to her and say, "Girl, what you said to me the other day was so on point," and she's sitting there looking like a, I don't know what I said.
That sounds good, but that's really not how it works.
What?
Yeah. It doesn't work.
That's not how it works. But it's good to communicate. See, you can communicate with 2 or 3 people on your page. You don't have to communicate with everybody. You might have 5 or 6 fans on your page.
Super fans. You need super fans.
And those fans can help to build your repertoire that's on your page.
Oh,
but you can buy actual people that are in England or actual people that are in Japan. Now, they may not ever come to your page, ever, never, ever, never, ever. But they would be a part of your network.
Wow.
Now, the problem with that is that you will, it's kind of like having being a ghost artist.
Yes.
You don't really have fans, not really.
No.
Unless it's your mama and daddy and your brother, sister. But you can just as easily maneuver that circumstance to build your power base.
Yes.
You can't do that.
Now, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Sheila, you mentioned super fans. Are you in contact with any of your super fans?
I actually am.
That's a great start for you to start building your team, because I actually, when I just said I just hired somebody last week, was one of my super fans, and they just was like, what can I do? And I was like, boom, there you go. So that's a great start for you.
So did you go on and say, did you solicit at all? Did you say, hey, I'm looking for people that might be interested in assisting me in my family?
No. This is a person who just communicates with me a lot through social media. They reached out to me, and then I always answer people back. I try to communicate, and then it just the what can I would love to work with you. What can I do to help? And then that's where we started. So I'm just saying, you're trying to get your team. Yeah, you're trying to get your team together. That would be a great place, because this is a person, if they're a super fan, they know a lot about you. They know when you're online, they know when you're not online. They probably know some other people, or they would be the perfect advocate for you to gather other people to support and help build your team. Now, you got to vet them, make sure they ain't stalkers, but that's a great place to start.
I have my situations, I have a lot of funk fans, like a lot of funk super fans that really they're really fans, but they have issues like some of them might not like my dance music. That's an issue. They want me to do funk, which I am doing a funk project, but I want them to embrace everything. I have dance fans too. It would be nice that everybody just said, hey, this is what she is. She's an entertainer. She entertains. She doesn't just stick to
Everybody's
this
not
one
going to
genre.
like everything. So
I
if you
know.
have a great funk song and they love that song, let them promote and help you with what they love.
They like.
So that
There
you
you
can
go.
get the genuine, authentic support from them for what they love.
Let me give you a great example.
We only have 4 more minutes.
Oh,
I worked with Sheila Clinton,
yes.
George Clinton's niece.
Mr.
And I helped her to buid her fan base. But
You helped Caroline?
But how I did it, she had to consistently put pictures on and communicate with her fans on Facebook.
Yeah,
she did
Every day.
She does.
And
She even videotaped on the stage. She videotaped George live shows on stage.
She keeps something going.
Keep it going.
Every day. Now, George Clinton's wife, Caroline.
Yes.
She videotapes something every day.
Every day. She still does. She videotapes them running. She videotapes. It's amazing.
But what she didn't realize that she was doing, George, even though George is a star, the problem is you have to stay in people's face.
Yep.
All the time.
Yeah.
We are.
All the time. When Beth was on The Voice, she was in their face all the time.
And Billy, thank you, because you share my posts all the time, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You're helping keeping me in people's faces. I post something every day. Billy is shared, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I share with my Motown group.
Thank you.
And those groups, they share it with somebody else.
That's right. That's right.
When did you do The Voice, Beth?
2019.
Cool beans, man. Awesome.
I have a niece. Her name is Jay Fears.
Yeah, I know Jay.
Yeah, and Jay, I commented on her. I said, "Baby, Auntie is watching you. She is so present every day.
I love her. She's always
she has different stuff. Yep. Yeah, she has different stuff, and it'll be a 1-minute thing, but she is out there doing all that stuff and very relevant to what's happening.
Yes.
And I just love her. I do
too. I love her work ethic.
Hi, Michael. Yeah. And you just have to be present. Okay, we got 2 Sheilas. Which one you want?
Oh, Sheila Hale, Leslie.
Yes, ma'am.
You said we only had a few minutes left. Are we able to go back on, like get off and get on, or is it
another time? We need to do this again. Good job,
Eileen.
Some Zoom, and we just hung up and called right back.
Do you want me to just stop the the live stream and everything, and then you guys can continue if you want?
Well, if we can continue live so that they can we go another maybe 15 minutes? And
yep, you're good.
Okay, because we don't have the
That's fine.
Yeah, so Sheila, Amuka.
Yes,
you have a lot of history and a lot of music and all of that, and you get to create your team so that where you are considered a master, and you promote yourself as a master. If you want to learn how to, and somebody, when you talk to Billy, can get somebody who's a marketer that knows how to market you for being a master, where you don't have to get out there and do all that work, physical work, all the dance and all that.
I love dancing with heels and everything.
Oh, well, good girl. But they will show you in what you love to do, even right now, and connecting that with what you have done, and put you out there as a master. And then people will subscribe. And anytime you're going to teach something or talk about something or you're on a panel like this, you let that group know, oh, she was going to be talking on this panel or doing this, and then they come. So you could buy a whole bunch of people, but you can also really use that.
I have a lot of people. It's just that I've got to put the team together to bring it all together. That's what I'm looking for. I mean, I have some members of my team, but I need more than what I have.
Yeah. Well, they'll start coming. You know, I mean, they will. And we can have more sessions like this where we are really breaking down how to do that. Like that particular subject is what we're going to talk about. How to get yourself and how to be fresh out there on community at whatever age that you are at, or whatever stage that you are at. There are programs out there now that says, if no matter, you don't even have to be a master, you don't even have to have done it forever, but you know, there are classes where they will just show you how to do it. You know, the internet is full of everything. You know, just how to do this, how to do that, how to make it work. And those and what I'm finding with the City of Arts, because it is creating itself organically. I mean, literally organically. And because every person that gets involved brings another set of skills, information, love, energy, and all of that stuff. And then let that happen. No complaining, none. Don't complain anymore, because when you complain, it stops. It stops. The energy, the breaks. Talking about the flow of the spirit, it will stop that. But always speaking, I mean, I have one saying that I see people coming into my life that have integrity. We gel together. They are creative, and all of those things. And that's what I expect to come in. And I also expect that the discernment of that, God will give me that. Some people come in for a little time, and some are there to stay. And for whatever that amount of time, it might be years. And then all of a sudden it's time for them to go into what's next for them. So we put these types of things together where we can now we know more about what's needed from each of us. Now we can begin, Billy, we can begin setting up, you know, workshops and classes. I know he always does that anyway. So if here's somebody who does it anyway, now he has a whole new group of people that wants that information. But I'm telling you, you have to take, because everybody is every man for themselves. Even if the themselves come together to make something happen, because we are all of like minded, and I need what you have, and I need what you have, and I just want what you have, you know, and to make it all work and everybody come. That is why the City of Arts and Elizabeth, some other programs that I have, it is about your purpose. What is your purpose? Because if you come with your purpose and you're serious about your purpose, then I don't have to talk you into it. I don't have to, you know, I don't have to do all that, because you're excited about having the opportunity to express yourself in the way of the gift that God has put in front of you. And that is exactly what I look for. And so if something is not happening in my life, then I only can look at myself and what type of energy or what am I speaking that would stop the faith of God from bringing forth what you need. So it's like, I have to look at, oh yeah, I do complain about that. Yeah, no, okay, no more complaining, that my words create what I want. So that is what shows up.
I know, see, with me, I don't care if anybody complains, because I've been in this business so long. I already know the solution of the crap.
Yeah, I know, right?
That they're complaining about. There's always a solution.
It's always.
Anybody who's been in this business long enough, whether you're on a local level, whether you're on a national level, you are not the first person to complain about whatever that issue.
Yes.
You might be the 100,000th person.
Exactly.
But you ain't the first. You
I'm
know,
curious about Mr. Michael Prentice because he's been here and he hasn't said anything. And I would like to know who he is, Billy.
and Michael Prentice, turn on your mic for a second. Brag
Hi,
about
Hi, Michael.
Welcome.
Sheila, you sound like a
Oh,
truck.
Hey, wait a minute.
thank
Wait,
you,
wait.
Billy.
Mike,
Thank you,
So
Sheila.
quiet.
Both Sheilas. Thank you all. Good to
Michael,
be here. I am a producer of live music events. I have the Peace Fest Detroit 2021 on June 19th at the Ralston Street Festival site, which is just south of State Fairgrounds. So
Yeah.
that's an all day
Nice.
affair. I'm seeking great artists. So
You're seeking
Awesome.
artists to perform?
yes, indeed.
Did I
yes.
just hear that?
I would love to invite you to provide me a link to your music. I'd love to hear it, and I'll get back to you. I'll provide my
Absolutely.
email. I'll provide my email Addy in the chat box.
In the
That's
chat,
all right.
yeah.
Awesome. I just kept feeling like somebody just kept saying, you got to let him talk. Because he's been sitting there and I just looked like I don't know, it was something. It was God. I'm just going to
Yes.
tell you. It was God.
Thank you.
That's what it was. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah,
I should
Michael,
also
put that in
mention
there.
I'm an executive producer of music as well. I have a record called Overdue with Severin Brown, former Motown artist from the 70s.
Wow.
Jackson Brown's brother out in LA,
Wow.
California. He is wonderful. Severin Brown is a great former Motown artist, 73, 74.
Nice.
I saw his record in the Motown Museum, and I think they noted it as the first non-African American artist on Motown. I called him and I let him know, and he goes, I don't know if I'd like it to be termed like that. I don't really like
Non-African American.
But,
he's not the first, but he is amongst the group.
Well, I'm definitely, I would love to, definitely. And I'm sure other people in here would definitely like to know more about it.
Don't let me
Things are
interrupt.
opening up.
I'm sorry to join late. I will definitely be looking forward to the next meeting and musicians.
Absolutely.
And later. So thank you all. I should mention also that I really enjoyed the small wristband promotional item with the little barcodes on there. I'm kind of new to the barcodes. I don't know how to use those. Does anybody know how to use those barcodes?
I don't even know. I mean, I'm
They're
Billy.
on the promotional, ArtZ promotional item that I picked up. I think Sheila Everett.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Tylene can come in on that. That's the QS where I don't know.
You're
if
referring to a QR code?
Yes, that's how he got it. Yay, it worked. Yay.
Okay, yep, absolutely. Okay. The QR code, you got it off of a flyer or something, and it took you to the City of Arts website.
Michael.
Sorry, I froze up. I'm getting a new modem today, but what was that about the QR code?
So I think what you're referring to is a QR code, and so essentially it just kind of depends on what registration method you're using, but you can have one created. And typically, just like when you go into the restaurant, since the pandemic, they'll have a QR code in the middle of the table so that you don't have to touch something.
Mm-hmm.
That's,
Do you take a picture of it? Take a picture of it or something?
You just put your camera on it and it takes you to a specific URL. So instead of having to type in www/ all of that, you put your camera on, and once your camera highlights on it at the top of your screen, the website, and you will pop up and you click on it, it'll take you to that site. And so depends on your registration method, but many of the things like Eventbrite, or you can have a custom QR code created to take someone to a specific URL.
Oh, very good. Thank you so much. That's wonderful.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Yeah, and Michael, tomorrow, both Tylene and Amanda are on the panel of venues, clubs, social media, how to promote yourself in that way, and they'll be sharing that for your event. See, you want that as part of your event, so people can get to you. You know what? I like what you said. I'm gonna keep that, Ty. We gotta write that down. that there, you called it an armband because it was long like that, you know, and that would be so sweet to have an armband made that when somebody comes up, all you had to do is just, you know, do like that, and here, you know, they put their phone right there. I mean, that could be for your personal information, for as your business card, that, you know, you just, you know, give them that. You can just be so creative about that. Yeah, you like that, huh?
Can Michael tell us more about his festival, his event?
This event will be from noon to 10 p.m. It's featuring John Sinclair with Jeff Grand on guitar, the great cannabis advocate. I should preface that I am a cannabis supporter, and a lot of my events are supportive of cannabis. I am the producer for Temples of the Holy Smoke services on Sunday afternoons at the Ralston building.
Really?
Backyard Boogie area.
Right.
And I've been producing since November. Sadly, we lost our founder, our co-founder friend, Marvin, the great cannabis advocate. Marvin Surowitz, who's a 55-year-long political science professor, but he was a real cannabis advocate, so we loved him. And if anybody gets the Ferndale Pleasant Ridge City Guide, we have a full-page ad for Marvin's event, which I'm co-producing August 7th and 8th. We're looking for acts for August 7th and 8th, all day, both days, down at the Ralston Street Festival site.
I have a new band. I have a brand new band that I'm putting together right here in Detroit. Perfect.
You don't mean to promote. I'm just trying to outreach. I'm sorry, Billy. I don't mean to promote.
No, thank you.
You do mean to promote.
You do.
No, we want
to
know.
Want you to promote.
You're in the midst of a whole bunch of performers. So what?
All right.
Michael, can you put your information in the chat box?
Please.
Yes, I'll do that right now.
That's awesome.
He disappeared.
No, he just hit his mute button.
Oh man, I was listening. Like, you know, artists. I have not performed as myself in my own home. Always with George or somebody, but here, I've traveled all over the world and performed everywhere, but not in my own hometown. That would be
awesome.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
People are waiting. You know, they're waiting for it. And I got a new band. It's crazy.
We also have I'm sorry, but Furman is joining us, and Furman has done the video filming for. We have one of the songs you guys are here. I actually put that one online already. Is I Love You So Much, and he did the whole filming. It was our first video. Philip and I, we do a whole bunch of kissing, you know, because we love each other so much. But
I love it.
He did a great job. But that's another resource that is available for any of you guys. He worked with Comcast and a whole bunch of other
nice,
the news and all that kind of stuff. So that's a resource for you. And that's what City of Arts is about. We really are creating like a Google.
A creative environment for artists.
Yeah, where if you're an artist, a dancer, or you do work on the business side, they can find like what Leslie is putting together for art a background vocalist and stuff, and they promote themselves.
That's really cool.
We want to place that in the City of Arts, because that's where you would be going to find those types of people and workshops and, you know, and all of that, as well as everything else. But I'm saying the City of Arts, that's what it focuses on. And that's why organically it creates itself, because as we all come,
right,
it
grow together.
Now we have this, now we can find this, and all of us need assistance. Yes. We need people to do, so we can focus on our gift, our craft, and making it what it needs to be, or what it can be. And if you have people, I mean, there, if a secretarial business was to put themselves, we specialize in artists, man, they would get all kind of work, and they do assistant. They help you with your, you know, your phone calls and all that kind of stuff. Leslie, you were going to share something?
I was just going to tell Beth and Sheila to go on and put the information on the chat.
Oh, okay, yeah, because Leslie, okay, I got it. I just saw you call me, but my Zoom, you know.
How do we get, yeah, I would like to, whatever. And I'm curious about the other one, Sheila. You said that you're doing a symposium on how to work the internet or internet promotion. Did you say that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just another thing that once out hearing what people need and stuff, yeah, we can put
we
that
need
together. And so that, because they have a senior citizen thing where senior citizens can come and learn how to work Zoom, you know, because that's a whole new arena, and we were all forced into this with the COVID. We were forced into it.
Yes.
Where people now, are you doing that? Are you doing that? Well, now you see them on there. They doing all this and stuff. You know, or they don't know what to do with the punch in the. You see how it was hard for some of y'all to get in.
Well,
so,
you wouldn't let me in. It said that you hadn't launched the meeting. It said the meeting hadn't been launched.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I had to re-register on the second link. I had to register all over again.
Yeah. Well, even I registered a few times, but I didn't. You know, but those are things that we work out, you know,
right.
And then when we find what is needed and we find who can provide that, then we just pull together and put it out there that this is happening, this is available, and then and as we put out what we're doing, there's people who will see that and say, I can help and do this. I can help with that. Or I would like to be a presenter of this because I really specialize in that. And I need the advertising and the promotion as well with the audience that you are bringing forth. So, yeah.
Well, I really appreciate this. I really thank you for putting this together. It's brilliant. And I know it's going to do extremely well. That's what I
would also like to add that I'm starting an underground paper, a publishing paper that I'm the publisher for. I have an editor for it. I'm accepting articles.
Oh, well, I write articles. I've written.
Hey, look at that.
I've written for other magazines. I have. I'm finding it's always like a little.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna distribute this at cannabis shops, coffee shops, and some of the clubs, some of the cooler clubs.
I love this. This is awesome. Awesome.
So my email, please send me an email. Remind me that we met here.
What's your email address? Your email. I'll just write it down right now.
It's going to be a progressive underground paper, kind of like the Fifth Estate was, but it's going to be. I'm accepting advertisements too. So real reasonably priced ads, real low priced ads, I should say, just to cover the cost of the paper and distribution.
How does Beth and Leslie and how do we get in touch with you, Michael? In terms of maybe, you know, you have shows coming up and that's very interesting.
Oh yeah, please email me. Check the chat box. My email. Call me anytime. Usually at late evening or night is fine.
Amuka, do you know how information? Do you know how to click on the chat room? It's at the bottom.
Oh, me?
Yeah, it'll say chat.
I don't. Oh, I do. I see it.
Yeah, and he's written it right in there. So just click that, and then you can write your information.
Well, I'll be doggone. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Perfect.
Well, you guys, I think we need to close out and get ready for this evening. This evening is guitar players, and oh my goodness, we got Perry Hughes. You know, we have Eric Goebel, Lace. You know, Lace was on which one? Yeah, he was on
America Got Talent. I think he was on America's Got Talent.
No, I'm
talking about Lace.
No, Lace was on
The Voice.
He was on The Voice too.
Okay. Yeah, he was on The Voice. Now he might have been on the other thing, but I know him as That's where I saw him on.
Yeah, he was on the board. Yeah, absolutely.
Besides being, you know, local, and Philip has played with him and all that kind of stuff. We have Pazman, who is our moderator. Brett Lucas, who really plays a lot with Thornetta Davis. That's her main guitar player for years. George Friend, George and Laura Rain are a couple, and they do some awesome stuff. And again, Perry Hughes. So tonight at 7 from 7 to 9, that's what's going to be happening. And looking forward to it, because these entertainers are characters. All characters welcome, right? And then tomorrow we will have the venues, clubs, social media, and we're going to talk about how hard or how about those who are running venues and the challenges they run into, and the glories that they also run into. And we got a lot of good stuff coming up.
So I'm just
and I'm gonna promote my.
I may not attend live. I'm getting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's vague reflection.
No, I just wanted to say,
my face. It should mimic Skype calls with someone else. And if it looks like I'm making eye contact with you, then the system is actually working.
I want to also promote Friday night, and from 9 to 10, we are introducing our music. You will enjoy yourself. We got some good songs. I'd appreciate you guys showing up, turning it on. You can still continue doing your work or whatever, but check us out. It's like our debut. Everybody Want to Be Loved. That is a boogie song, and it's a really good message. Everybody Want to Be Loved. We Are, I Am is very cultural. I Like It Like That is like, real, like, I like it like that, really cool stuff. And so Billy, you be watching, because, you done said, I want to help y'all and make sure we're doing this right. So if you have an opportunity. Now, these will be ran over and over. We will put this in our archives so people can continue checking this out. And then we will begin to break down what the needs are, and be able to start creating those opportunities, those classes, those workshops, and so on and so forth, and how to best promote each one of us, all of us, and the world. So I love you. I appreciate you. And let's do this thing.
Let's do it.
All right. Bye-bye.
I'm sorry, was Furman going to say something? Or?
Furman, you want to say something?
I'll just say hello. And I look forward to seeing. Hello there, everyone. I look forward to seeing everyone and the progress everyone's making together and individually. And if you ever need any video services or have anything taped, your concerts or anything of that nature, let me know.
So
let Sheila know. Sheila let me know.
In the chat room.
Absolutely.
Put your number in the chat.
Okay, I'll do that now. I'm on my phone, so okay, I should have to find it on my phone.
Follow the City of Arts Facebook page, and there's a place you can post your contact, your website and everything there as well. And then that'll be a location folks can go to connect as well.
Right.
And
on
Facebook.
Oh,
and join the City of Arts group, Facebook group.
I was going to ask Billy, Mike, this is Michael, Billy, if you get a chance to consider sending me an email or writing or calling me, I'd love to talk with you more, Billy Wilson.
Not a problem, Mike.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Billy, you want to say?
I'd love to help everyone here. If I may, just let me know. Thank you.
Okay. Billy, you want to say anything before we go?
The music industry ain't that hard.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say, Billy?
The music industry ain't that hard.
I thought you said the way to Easy Street ain't that hard.
That's almost the same difference.
Yeah,
The way to Easy Street ain't that hard.
In today's times, it's just tedious.
It's tedious.
But if you're willing to work the tediousness,
Which I am.
There are ways to set up your own touring. You could set up your own national tour by yourself. You can go through the college circuit. You can go through the college radio station. That's the best place to first start. You can go to the record pools where all the DJs get their records. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's so, it's massive. It's massive. And that's part of what I do. I just show you how to get to all of that stuff.
Okay.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you,
God for you.
guys.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Blessings for everyone. Really, thank you.
Okay.
Peace out.
Love you, Beth. Talk to you later, Sheila.
Love you, everybody.
Nice
Thank
meeting
you.
everybody.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
See
Love
you
you,
again.
Leslie.